Now this is what we call music. And I would pick Japanese city pop over K-pop, Taylor Swift, or anything we have at the moment. He's back, and it's about bloody time. You just know I had to put some Skillet in there. Well, this is my first official live broadcast. Wow. Yeah, I decided to stop it mid-song because, you know, you guys are here for the announcement. You're not here for... As much as I love Skillet and music in general, well, older music, you know, you're here for the announcement. And as you could guess, it is that I am doing, well... I am going to do work with the 8th Doctor. So, yeah, this is... Let me just put on scene 3 here, which is an image of the Doctor and his new companion. So, this is going to be a multimedia project. So, it's not going to be, you know, one thing. It's going to be... first story is going to be a stop motion. In fact, it's going to be a single episode. And then the others are going to be done in the form of novels. or the way I set it out is novels written similar to the way of scripts. So, because I wanted to do this for some time, with writing novels, you're free to do what you want, or you're free to go where you want. Whereas with stop motions that I found, I'm just restricted to one room, which is, you know, the one I'm in at the minute. Yeah, so I'm really, I've been doing this for, I've been planning this for a long time now, actually. A lot of changes have been made throughout production, which I might talk to you about soon. So yeah, we're going to make a start on the stories. So, yeah, we'll make a start on the main stories. View screen, PowerPoint. So yeah, I've done this on Microsoft PowerPoint. Is that clear enough for everyone? Yeah. So I've done them in the style of Big Finish covers. More importantly, the Big Finish covers that had served for years before they went full on Jodie and ruined it. But yeah, the first one is called Lights Out. Now this is going to be the stop motion episode. I've done some filming of it today. One of the one of the annoyances with it is I'm using LED lights with it, as in actual LED lights, the ones you get on model trains. And I've attached those to a piece of cardboard, and I struggled to figure out how I could do this, but I've figured out to use crocodile attachments. You know, those crocodile things that you put the wires in. So yeah, sometimes the wires do slip out from time to time and mess it all up. And then the structure of the set can sometimes be pretty annoying. So yeah, this story I'm not going to say anything about. I'm just leaving it for it to be Lights Out. And then Zygons in Tokyo. Now, I want to talk a bit more about this individual in a moment when I've finished detailing the stories. But yeah, Zygons in Tokyo. So as you could tell, she's Japanese. So because Doctor Who hasn't really had a Japanese companion, I know there was Torchwood's Toshiko Sato, and then it was, I believe, the same character in an earlier episode. So yeah, Zygons in Tokyo. The Doctor has never been to Japan either, so this is the opportunity to see the Doctor, his companion, against Zygons. And then this is going to involve, well, I might spoil it already, but UNIT as well. I mean, yeah, they've already had a few rounds against the Zygons before, but this one I want to make different. Yeah. For this story, by the way, the background image is a shot from Google Maps, which I edited. For this, I had to retrace the steps of where the Doctor and his companion is going to go. Next up is The Assimilators. Now, this story is where the Doctor and his companion are on a jungle planet, and they encounter something that's to do with this picture here, which I'm not going to say much about either. But yeah, you can see it's hot because the Doctor hasn't got his jacket on, and he's just got his standard cravat, waistcoat, shirt, and, you know. Then we have The Disease of the Novos Project. By the way, some of these images are created, I used Copilot AI to create, and it's the same with the companion. And basically, this is where the Doctor is against a deadly virus on a colony. Next is the Red Emperor. So, for this story, it's set in a fusion land, or a planet that is a fusion between ancient Japan and ancient China. I wanted to merge the two together because I love East Asian culture. I love East Asia in general. So I wanted to merge Japan and China together for this one episode. The next one is Trapped in Impossibility. Now this one is going to be, to say the least, mind-bending. Next up, The Leper of the Land. So for any history buffs here, that is Spring-Heeled Jack, or meant to be Spring-Heeled Jack, who was an urban legend in Victorian times. I reckon that he could be a good Doctor Who monster, so I asked Copilot and another AI image generating website, which is how I got the companion images, to visualize what it would look like if it was a monster in a 90s TV show. And thus this was the end result. I think this was Copilot, I'm not too sure. And then augmented reality. So far, some of these I haven't got round to writing. I'm actually nearly in the middle of writing this one. Augmented reality. So far, the main concept is it glimpses an alternative universe thanks to an AI generated program. Then mutagenesis. So this is a well, it's meant to be a multi-doctor story. I'm not too sure. So as you can probably guess as well, this planet is Skaro, which is the home planet of the Daleks. So this is gonna be my answer to how Skaro managed to return. And then the mutagenesis machine isn't my creation. It is thanks to a 3D printing company. So we have friends who do 3D printing, and I've asked them if I can use this in a story. And I guess you know what's going to happen from this. And then the final story, Sleepwalker. So I'm kind of undecided about this. Not just story-wise, but monster-wise in general. I don't know what kind of monster that I want in it. But I'm going I'll leave that till I get round to it. So I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. Where am I? Base. There we go. Next, I've even written an agenda here. So next up we have the companion. So yeah, the companion that I have. So I had a lot of ideas when writing for this story. So the companion was originally going to be called Onome, but I didn't like that idea, so I ran through AI just some random names, and then one name I like the sound of, and then I decided to mess around with it and then see what names. And the name that really came up in my mind was, actually I'll see if I've got a shot of her figure instead of the one figure that I had. The one name that came to mind was Hakuri. Now, I like the name Hakuri even more because, I don't know, Onome sounds a bit, I don't know, it sounded a bit boring. So, yeah, I decided to actually window capture. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how the hell to use this. There we go. So this is the action figure I've used for Hakuri. It is so the figure I used for a template was Claudia Brown from the Primeval figure range. I like the sound. I liked the... I originally I wanted her to have shorter hair, but I went longer instead. And I played around with the colour palette, and this was the results. Now, I've made AI counterparts for this as well. Actually, I can try and... I'll start with... from the very beginning. So this was the original AI that came out for... Oh! Hold on! Wait, hold on a moment. Hold on a moment. This is mess... Hold on. I'm new to all this streaming business, so I don't... I'm a boomer at nearly everything. You guys... Right. There we go. That should be it. Yeah. So this is the original Hakurei. Originally I wanted her to have a jumper. I've kept the jeans and then a red leather jacket, a dark red leather blazer. And the shoulder length hair was used for, well, the figure I used originally was Sarah Jane Smith, but I ended up using Claudia Brown. Then this is a shot of her in her kimono, seen in the Red Emperor. And then another kimono shot. This was the original picture that I asked AI to generate in augmented reality. And then that's the mask from the Red Emperor, which you're going to see. Then this was the second Hakurei with longer hair. So I like the leather jacket. You can see why I chose the leather jacket and shirt. This is another Hakurei shot. Another one. And then this is just endless shots of her. Then this is the one which is similar to the figure. I wanted to make it really accurate to what the Claudia Brown figure ended up looking like. And I'm impressed with the results. The only thing... No, I think I didn't use that one. Some of these I didn't. I ended up forgetting about. I think this is the one I ended up using. One of them anyway. I can't remember which one. But yeah, I think the one you see in Zygons in Tokyo, the AI didn't include a belt really, which I should have really put in the prompts. And then one of her alternative costumes for the Leper of the Land was going to be a Mandarin dress. And then there are some shots of her in her Victorian dress that she ends up being seen in. I did a bow in as well. And some of these were just publicity shots. You know, like when it's announced, you get, your average photo of the companion. I think this is the one I ended up using, I should say. Is my audio okay, guys? Yeah, is my audio alright? Well, it should be now. Oh, hold on. I've just realised most of the stream I might be a bit quiet. Then we have... Ooh, Hakurei in a nice... looking really lovely. And then we have her looking reflective. And then that zombie is what's going to be used in Lights Out. And then we have the Hakurei figure. And then another pose. I wanted to make her look really feminine because for her character, I wanted her to be a girly girl, but not too annoyingly cute, if you know what I mean. I wanted her to basically be normal. And then there's a shot of her and the doctor. And then another picture of the figure. Now, and then there's... I like that one as well. Oh, sorry if you're here. I've just had a cup of tea. So, something else I did with the figure was have some fun and recreate some Japanese city pop albums. So this is a Junkyo Yagamati album. It's one of her 80s ones. So in that album, she has some of the songs that she uses are some of the songs that are in it are quite good. My favourite one, I think, is Communication, because it's entirely in English. And it sounds different to what we were used to in the 70s, you know, because her hits, the song that played earlier was Bay City. Her other songs on that album include Naturally, Full Moon, but I like the 80s album that I'm recreating here. And I like I couldn't obviously edit the figure, but on the cover, she's a bit skew-whiff, so she looks all wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Next up, Cindy. I'm recreating the Cindy Angel's Touch album. Sorry if you can hear me belching or whatever. Again, I've just had a cup of tea. This is recreating the Angel's Touch album from Cindy. My favourite album on this is her version of Angel's Feelings. I didn't realise that it was a cover because someone else did it originally. But yeah, I think both versions... Now, the original version was done by Mio Somebody, and then Cindy covered it. But I prefer Cindy's version because I discovered it first. And it sounds jolly when it's... Well, it's not really meant to sound jolly. The lyrics are about an angel who can't be with someone. But the tune is... It's happy. Next up is Reiko Takahashi's Sunset Road. I found an English version of the song, and it is, again, when you translate Japanese city pop lyrics or songs, they can sound quite... the topic of the songs is almost heartbreak. And she disappeared off the music scene after not having a long career. I think my favourite song of hers is Kitto Only You. But her Sunset Road single, I should say, it only had 2 songs. So Sunset Road and September Blue. I think she had a fantastic voice, and she was such a pretty woman. I think that's it from Harakiri. What's next on the agenda? I've written an agenda here before even thinking about setting the stream up. Next up, where the stories will be uploaded to. So, Lights Out is obviously going to go on YouTube, like all my other stop motions. Although the filming of this does mean I've had to put Transformers and Hero Factory to the side for a bit. But that at least means when I do get round to filming it again, hopefully it'll be loved. And by the way, I've seen that they're gaining traction, which is always good to see. I knew that doing a crossover between Hero Factory and Transformers was a good idea. I've wanted to do it. I wanted to do it for, I don't know. I did it a few years back, and that wasn't very good. But the one that I'm doing now, or the one that I've been doing up to this point, is some of the best stop motioning I've ever done. And then the stories are going to be uploaded to either Wattpad or Quote.V, I think. Another fanfiction website. The reason I considered another option other than Wattpad is because one time I came across this thing where you've got to sign in to read a book, and I don't want that. I believe that reading should be free for everybody, and I don't want people to create an account just to read a story, you know? So yeah, I'm conflicted about where to upload the stories to. The final thing, well, the second to last thing on the agenda is, well, just as any doubts really. As always with these, the one thing that, again, I am quite cautious of, or the thing that quite worries me a bit, is me getting halfway done and then just giving up on it altogether. I don't want to do that. I want to carry on till the end. I want to see it through. And I want to do it for Doctor Who. I want to do it for the fans. And I want to do it because I feel as though that we are all owed a decent episode of Doctor Who. And if the British Borg Collective aren't going to do it, then the fans will. You know, I know some of you might not be happy with me using AI, but you know what? I was going to use an actor. Well, I was going to what I've done in the past, which I've never uploaded to YouTube, is use because most people for their fan fictions or whatnot use images of actors, you know, shots of actors in a program. But for me, I wanted to use AI because I wanted to do something different, and I do see the good in using AI for filmmaking. You know, just look at what's been done in Doctor Who. You know, there's some AI generated Doctor Who content out there, and there's plenty of Star Wars AI content out there. And you know what? I'm blow it. I'm gonna use AI no matter what. You know, I don't. You know, I also because I want Hakuri's figure counterpart to look like the one that is used on the novel covers. I like accuracy. And you know what? I don't think there's anything more to say. I think I hope that I get it done. You know, it'll be done when it's done. Release date, I haven't decided on yet. I don't think it's gonna really come for ages. You know, what I'm intending to do, or one small idea I have, is to release it in parts, or in sections. So you know, like Series 7 was released in 2 parts. I'm thinking of doing that for this. And I don't want to release it all at once. I want it to be done on a weekly basis. Well, when it's uploaded, I want it to be done on a weekly basis. You know, like your average episode of Doctor Who or episodic TV. I want to bring back the feeling, or similar to watching live TV, where before the days of streaming an iPlayer, where you could just wait for the next episode and then talk to people about it, because I don't want to do it all at once so that, you know, other people spoil, people spoil it, because I don't think that's fair. The other thing I'm thinking of is, as I've got a Japanese companion and there are some elements of Japanese and Chinese mythology or whatnot in some of the stories, especially the Red Emperor. No, particularly the Red Emperor. I'm thinking of having it somehow translated into both Japanese and Mandarin. The stop motion might be a bit different, but simply because, for my software, I create captions for it because I'm a bad voice actor. And then, actually, in a minute, I'll show you a photo that I took the other day of the Sector Lights Out. I do think, and I do hope that I'm remembered for it. I want to be remembered for making good Doctor Who. I don't really care about politics. I just want to make the Doctor Who fandom Doctor Who again, because I think that we haven't had a decent episode since around 2018, and I've not looked forward to anything Doctor Who related since then. I don't want to go overboard with politics because I think that's one of the biggest problems of modern Doctor Who and anything modern media. I just want to tell a good story again. I just want to bring back the Doctor Who fandom, and I just want to unite us all, because being in a fandom used to be about talking to others, exchanging your views, talking about what you like about the show, what you didn't like. Now it's just a massive shit show where if you disagree with someone, you're labelled a bigot, and these stories certainly will be made for the older audience. It's not going to be for the Ncuti and Jodie fans, because, I don't think that... Look, to me, everything everything after Capaldi's regeneration isn't canon. I've also set out a list of rules that I'm going to follow. So these rules will help me, not just help me, but will make this stand out. The first one is about relationships and fan shipping. So fan shipping is when two characters from a TV show are put together in a relationship. So this is headcanon, which is an idea that's made up of... I'll start again. First rule is relationships and fan shipping. Fan shipping is when two characters from a TV show are put together in a relationship. This is headcanon, which is an idea that's made inside of the fan's imagination. So one of the reasons why So for those who have probably been watching me for a bit, will know that I used to watch The Next Step, I say used to be a dance program. They're making a new spin-off in quotation marks, but really all it is just... It feels like a continuation. Seeing the trailer, I was just like, are we really excited for this? Is anyone really going to be bothered about this shit? So yeah, one of the reasons why I left or stop watching it because A, I simply decided to grow up, and B, is that the fan base is they're lost, right? The problem with them is that some of them like to ship, all right, do some of this fan shipping in ways that it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. So, for instance, they have these just two random characters, put them in a relationship, and I'm just like, no, that's not logical. It's not part of the show. They are fictitious characters. They are not anything to be played for in your headcanon. It's like declaring that Perceptor from Transformers is gay or sorry, I should say queer in quotation marks. You know, there has been no evidence that, this has been portrayed out in the show. And it really pisses me off that people like to fanship. And besides, the next step is a children's program. Kids should just be left alone to watch something that they enjoy and not be told what to think. So yeah, screw the next step. And then the examples I've used are Raylo and Oshimir, which is giving them cringe names. This is also one of the reasons why Wattpad.com is absolutely atrocious and why I'm thinking of going there, because my stories are gonna be nothing like fanfiction. I'm writing these as if it was an episode of Doctor Who or a story. Some of them are written like it's an episode of Riverdale, which is what we don't want. I'm thinking I could, really go in there and create an anti-woke story within the wokeness. If there is going to be a relationship, then it will be appropriate and in the realms of possibility. And I'm not going to ship the Doctor with Hakuri, because that's just absolute nonsense. Canon. So the next thing is I will respect canon no matter what. Canon means something that has already been well established in a piece of media. I'm always going to try and respect it and not throw anything away. However, I'm not going to acknowledge the Jodie Whittaker and Ncuti Gatwa eras, because they're like Disney Star Wars, not Star Wars. And like Disney Star Wars is not Star Wars, Disney Doctor Who is not Doctor Who. Neither is Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who. Established and originality. So some stories will use well-established characters like the Zygons and original creations. I'm going to try my best to respect the legacies of the well-known and create a respectable one for the lesser. Historical accuracy, I'm going to try and make it as accurate as possible. So with the Spring-Heel Jack story, there are some of the known accounts and known sightings that I'm going to be using. But I'm in no way going to mess it up in any way or twist it for my own mere imagination, because I want to reflect what really happened. Logic. So one of my biggest rules is that if something happens, then it has to be accurate. So yeah, so in cases where I have I've written a story and something happens that I don't know about, I can just ask Copilot AI. I can just say to it, what would happen if this happened? And then it would come up with a solution. I know that it would make mistakes, so I might try and double confirm that. And then the era. So the era for this. So yeah, the era for these stories Right, so for quality wise, or for the layout of it, I want it to be seen as if it's seen or read as if it's an episode of Doctor Who in the 90s, because that's when Paul McGann was the Doctor and he took over. Well, not took over, but those were the wilderness years where we didn't have any content whatsoever. And I tried to imagine if it would have been like used the film quality of Buffy, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Next Generation and Voyager, and things from that time. And then fans. So the fans will always come first, and I'm always going to appreciate feedback because, you know, it's so if there's something you don't like about the story, if it's something you do like about the story, then you're more than happy to say. What I want for this is to be my idea, the end goal for this is for it to be portable, a portable multimedia project, for it to be seen and read in Japan and China, or even Korea, because you know, I want people to look at the old Doctor Who, and I don't know how popular Doctor Who is in China and Japan, but I want to really, you know, tell people this is Doctor Who. This is a TV show that you're gonna love. You know, please do investigate more into the main show. You know, watch episodes, read more novels, other novels other than mine. You know, the paper ones. Listen to Big Finish. You know, I just want for us to be a united fan base once again. And you know, this is a show that I care dearly about, you know, and what really lit the fire, what really made me say I want to do this, was seeing Billie Piper regenerate into, or Billie Piper become the Doctor, and then Ncuti Gatwa, because all of the last series was atrocious. It made me so angry. I was like, you know what, Russell? I can do better than this. I can do something 10 times better that actually respects the character of the Doctor, that respects the show, that respects its fans, that respects its audience more than this series. That, in fact, any Doctor Who project since Jodie Whittaker was the Doctor ever has, you know? Because I think we can do a better job. You know, and my hopes for this is I can do something or contribute to... Yeah, I'll start again. My end goal for this is for this to be read overseas, for this to be made aware of, and basically, as I say, spread the word of Doctor Who. You know, tell people about how good Doctor Who used to be. You know, that there is an alternative to the modern show. So, yeah. I know that there hasn't been any people in the stream or live chat. I know broadcasting this at around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the wisest of ideas. But I wanted to do it at this time just because I just felt like it, you know. But yeah, if you're watching this on catch up, please do comment below. And so far, I'm actually pretty happy with myself. You know, first time streaming. A few things have gone wrong, but nothing too bad. You know, I have paused every now and then, but you know, that's me. So, yeah, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching this. It really does mean a lot to me. And I hope that these stories will be completed. And as soon as they're completed, I'm gonna announce a date. And then I'm gonna start uploading them. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for coming. To play us out is a very familiar song. To Big Finish fans, that is. So, ta-ra a bit. Hold on a minute. Before I go, I've just forgot. Hold on. Hold on. My thing's playing up. My thing's too low. 26. Right, is that better? Yeah, that's better. I forgot to show you guys. Hold on. The official sign that I've made. Sorry about that, guys. So this is the official sign for Lights Out. Now, for the international international audiences, I don't think I'll refilm the scenes where this shows up in. Because actually hold on. Simply just because, as much as I'd like to start writing in Chinese writing or Japanese writing, it's a bit, I don't know, I'll have to reshoot everything. But I don't know how I'm going to adapt the stop motion with all the captions for an international audience, but I'll see how it goes. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. When I said nothing went wrong, when I said few things went wrong, I really did mean something went wrong. I was going to end the broadcast, but then I didn't. So, yeah. So yeah, now it's time for me to go. Thank you for watching. Ta-ra! This is Doctor Who.